In this lesson, we're going to talk about a feature in Adobe Illustrator that, to be honest with you, is near and dear to this designer's heart. It's called Livetrace. I love this feature. It's not new. It is not new. It's been there for several versions. But in each version, it gets better and it gets faster. And we're now up to CS5. It's the best and fastest it's ever been. It's a great feature. Okay, Andy, what does it do? Its primary purpose in life is to convert photographs into resolution-independent vector objects with the click of a button. This image right here is called Livetrace Flowers. I have got it in a file called flowersofspring.ai. It's in your work folder. If you want to open up Flowers of Spring AI, you're going to be right where I am right now. If you'd rather open one up in your own blank document, go for it. Just go ahead and do a file place on Livetrace Flowers and get here. What do we want to do next? The next step is actually quite easy. Just click a button. Select our photograph. Come up here and you'll see the word Livetrace. Two places we can do this. Right here, or you can come up to the word Object and go down to Livetrace and do it there. Doesn't matter where. This way's faster, I suppose. Click the button. You're looking at a sketch, a black and white sketch. That's the default that it does. And we're going to talk all about how you make what you want to make here. But let's do one thing quick. Go up to the preset button here and change the default to grayscale. It'll take another second or two to do it. But once it gets done, you're looking at, kind of looks like a posterized Photoshop document, doesn't it? But there is one major difference between that. This is not a Photoshop document anymore. This thing is a resolution-independent vector that we basically did with the click of a button. A couple of things we want to do to demonstrate how this works. Select it again. I want to bring it in to Adobe Illustrator. It's still in Livetrace mode, which means we can still manipulate, change it, make it better, make it worse, whatever we want to do. I'm ready to bring it in. Select it and click the Expand button right there. What you've done is you've kind of locked yourself in stone. It's as if you drew this thing with the pen tool in Adobe Illustrator. It is now a pure vector. We need to break it apart. Ungroup it. We're going to select it again. Come up to the word Object and go down to Ungroup. You'll probably have to do this twice. Ungroup, come back again. You can see it's still there. Ungroup again. What I want to do is get rid of this box that's going around it. So with it ungrouped, I can click right here and just press Delete. Now that I've done that, let me show you something. This is a vector. I love this thing. That's a vector. Do you realize how long it would take you to draw something like this? This is amazing. Let's go ahead and put it back together through the miracle of undo, and let's group it back together again before we mess it up any further. Select it again, go up to the word Object and go to Group. I ungrouped it just to get rid of that box. Next step, tell you what, we're kind of done. Let's do one more thing here. Select it and go up to the word Edit and say Copy Paste. Now you can do Control-C, Control-V, obviously. So now we've got two of them. They don't have to be on top of each other. Move this one out of the way for a second. We're just going to work on this one. Go into your Pathfinder panel. I'm in the painting workspace. Don't forget that. And it's right here. With it selected, click this button right here, which is Unite. Make the whole thing one object. So it's going to definitely uncomplicate it, and we're left with just one object, almost like a shadow. Select it. Come over here and choose a color. You can choose any color that you want. I'm choosing this one out of a group I've called Flowers of Spring that's in this work document. All right, let's close this out. We don't need it for now. Let's move this over here and this over here. We need to get them on top of each other again, so let's select both of them. Go into the Align feature panel, which is right here, and we'll center it left and right and up and down. And now they're exactly on top of each other. Don't group them yet. Select the one on top. Go into the Transparency panel and change the blending mode of the one on top to something like Overlay. What Overlay does is it takes the color of the one that we put behind it and brings the color through while preserving the details of the image itself. So now we have an overall casted vector, resolution independent, kind of a blue flower. Let's do one more thing. I've got another layer down here called Background. I'm going to lock flowers so we don't move them. I'm going to go into the background layer. Pick up your ellipse tool And I'm going to go right about here, hold the Alt key down to draw from center, and draw myself a nice oval going around it. Why not? The color will be the color that we last chose. Let's do this. Make sure that you have the oval selected, and maybe hit it with one of these gradients. All right, we actually completed the lesson on Livetrace in about the first 30 seconds, but I thought we'd go a little bit further and play around with it too. Livetrace is amazing. If you don't know that, you're sure going to find out in this lesson.